I have here a butternut squash, and I've actually started to peel it already. What we're going to do is we're going to do oven roasted butternut squash and cranberries with maple syrup and butter. It's a very New England type thing because 50% of the cranberries that are produced in this nation are actually produced in Massachusetts, and I had not known that until I actually started to do a lot of research on cranberries. Another interesting thing I found out about cranberries is that they're a natural preservative, and the the sailors on long voyages would put cranberries in water, and they were just amazed that they were still totally good after the end of a long voyage. So what that does is it gives people an idea what they can do with it. One thing that the Indians learned a long time ago, they used to make something called pemmican, where they would smash meat like dried beef, or not beef necessarily for the Indians, but dried meat of some kind, and cranberries together, and then they could take that on a long journey. One thing about with these squashes, you got to be careful when you cut them. I'm always leery of, you got to really take your time, and what really helps sometimes is to get a really big knife. I think it's like, I'm just going to chop this down into cubes. Make them as neat as you can, because like I said, this stuff it's not the easiest stuff to cut through. I have my oven up the temp for this to receive this when we get it done. So with this dish you get the nice sweetness of the butternut squash, and then you get the tartness of the cranberries, and then the maple syrup and the butter to bring it all together. So I'm just going to chop up the neck piece of this this squash here, and I'll leave the bulb to do something with later, like make some soup or something like that with it. Okay, I'm going to switch to a smaller knife. Okay, I have a pot of water. Let me just get that going a little bit. Add some salt to that. When I salt things, it looks like a lot of salt, but it really isn't, because just a little bit's going to be absorbed into the squash itself, but it just makes it taste better. See, then we go through, we scrape, make sure I don't get any seeds put into this. Okay, that's one handful. This ends up being around, I'd say, about 4 cups of squash. Let me just. And I think I can just run a knife right through this. Now you can put different spins on this. If you wanted to put, instead of dried cranberries, you could put dried apples, whatever you'd like with it. You could use, instead of maple syrup, you could use molasses. It's just a real basic recipe. It's kind of like something you think the Pilgrims would pull together, after summer, and they need something that's kind of like a dessert but not a dessert. And I think I have my bench scraper here. Yeah, this will make it a little easier to put it in here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cook. I know I said we're going to roast these, and we will, trust me. But I'm going to cook them pretty much all the way through, so they're tender. Not like mush though, because I don't want them to fall apart. And then we combine them with the cranberries and the maple syrup. And this is going to have to go for about a good, I'd say, 7 to 10 minutes. So we'll just come back to that in a bit. Let's just take a look at our squash here. Yeah, it's boiling away. Let's take one of these. Doesn't work that well. Let me shorten it up. There we go. Just take that out. Yeah. It's tender, but it's not mushy. I don't want it to be mushy, because then it won't hold together in the oven. So what we're going to do is just take this, put them right in this bowl. Get a little water in there, don't worry about it, because once it goes in the oven, it will evaporate. Now you could put this in the oven cut up like this. And if you want to do it, that would be fine, but I would suggest strongly that you cover it with foil until the squash is totally cooked, and maybe add a little stock or something. So we're going to, into here, we're going to put 4 tablespoons of butter. This is like a cup of cranberries, and we're just going to do like a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And we're just going to gently kind of mix these together. That butter was at room temperature, so that's going. Okay, so that's looking good. And if I can only keep things in the bowl, that would really be amazing. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to take my serving dish over here, and then now you put this in the oven, just like it is, just like this. Oh, I'd say for a good 15 minutes. So let's just go over to the oven. Grab a towel on my way. Now I've started one already. I'm going to put that in here. And you can just have a really nice, let me just get another towel right here to set this on. Now this is very, so the tanginess of the cranberries, you can see how they've actually puffed up a little bit. They've absorbed some of that great maple syrup and the butter. So with enough said, you know, let's break bread together.